Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now April 10th of 2022, and we're only getting closer to the official release of course, the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show, as well as the full-length trailer, which is all set and ready to debut by early May of this year. It's most likely going to be either May 4th or May 6th, right around that time frame, give or take. But we have a lot of things coming our way when it comes to all of the new Star Wars TV shows, the new Star Wars movies that will be announced at this year's celebration and next year's celebration as well, more so. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, we are currently in a very intriguing situation because a lot of things are happening at the same exact time between Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, George Lucas, and how they are all working on tons of new TV shows that are going to combine both Legends and the current Disney canon material to really provide pretty much all types of Star Wars fans satisfaction. Whether you're a hardcore fan, a new fan, or even a casual fan at that, you know, Jon, George, and Dave want to make sure that the fans are going to be very happy about the direction of the Star Wars franchise and exactly how everything is moving forward in a better direction. Now, with that being said, we already know that everything related to The Mandalorian Season 3, the Ahsoka Tano series, and Mando Season 4, and so on and so forth, pretty much the entirety of the Mandoverse, is a very important era for both Jon and Dave to complete, because this is of course going to revolve the story of Luke, Ahsoka, Din Djarin, Grogu, and more. So when you look at everything like that, it is a very interesting way that they are treating the overall franchise by making multiple eras in the Star Wars universe, including the Mandoverse. So with that being said, of course, what's even all the more exciting has everything to do with what Jon Favreau recently had to say about one of the big canceled Star Wars TV shows and exactly what it originally was supposed to entail. So, moving on from this, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars projects like Star Wars Ahsoka and even The Mandalorian Season 3, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are actively developing new Star Wars TV shows that will be unveiled this year and next year to expand the roadmap. Now, it's described, however, that recently Jon Favreau engaged in an interview where he was able to confirm the cancellation of one of the new Star Wars TV shows for Disney Plus that was going to expand the stories of many of the legacy characters from the original trilogy films. Now, Jon Favreau went on to state, when we were creating Rangers of the New Republic, we were going to explore the adventures of many of the characters that were involved during the Battle of Endor. This included those such as Luke, Lando, Han, Leia, the droids, and more. But we also were going to throw in some new characters like Cara Dune and her squad that was going to be the other side of the show. Myself and Dave had so many fantastic ideas with this story, it was going to be quite the thrill for the fans without a doubt. In fact, the deep faking techniques that we did with Luke and Boba Fett was going to be applied to Rangers originally. Unfortunately, due to conflicts on our part, this show had to come to an end, and the great thing about that, however, is that we are going to be taking our favorite parts of that show and placing them into other projects that we are already working on. So let me just stop right here for 1 second before we move on to the more exciting stuff of what Jon has to say, is that what they are essentially doing is that they are taking bits and pieces from Rangers of the New Republic and throwing them in to many of the new Star Wars shows that are currently being developed. And a great example of that could very well be the Lando TV series. You know, that could very well borrow a lot of aspects of Rangers of the New Republic. The thing that was so great about Rangers that was really going to attract a lot of fans is that it really was going to be a story about, like how Jon said, the legacy characters combined with new characters. And that to me sounds like it was going to be a direct sequel to Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Basically, it was going to be Episode 6.5 in a sense, and that to me sounds extremely interesting because they could have done so much more with that. They could have really made the fans excited about what's to come for characters like Luke, Han, Leia, and more. They were going to use revolutionary CGI technology, which most likely, of course, had a lot to do with bringing back Han Solo and Leia in a sense, because Harrison Ford still to this day has no interest in returning for the Star Wars universe. But I digress. The thing about all of this also is that When you look at everything related to what Jon also had to say about Rangers, he goes on to say this: "We had so many great stories to tell with Rangers, about Luke and his friends, about Cara Dune and her friends, and exactly what life was like just after the Battle of Endor. The good news is that we will be exploring those angles and other Star Wars shows that will be released in the near future that myself and Dave are making sure will bring the franchise to a new level. We also had to cancel the series due to the lack of time that we had at the time, while working on Mando Season 3 and the Book of Boba Fett at the same time, being worked on as well, and how we just greenlit so many new series that we had to let go of one just to make room for 2 years." So that's another thing here, is that we already know that Lucasfilm has announced so many new projects for the new Star Wars universe, just months ago. And at this year's celebration, we're going to be getting even more announcements, and more announcements later this year, and a handful of others over at Star Wars Celebration for 2023. So all of the revelations, all of these reveals are going to be scattered, and it's basically Disney's new form of marketing and their strategy to promote the roadmap of the franchise. They don't want to lay everything on the table at once, they want to spread each phase out, and that's smart. The only problem with this is that you can see a common trend among Disney is that when they announce a lot of things, a lot of shows and/or films end up getting canceled or end up having a lot of trouble behind the scenes and puts the show and/or film in limbo. Rangers of the New Republic, unfortunately, was one of those that remained in limbo for a while and then eventually just got canceled altogether. So that's what Jon and Dave are doing now, is that they're basically salvaging the show, taking the best parts of it and putting them into other shows. Very smart of them. Now he goes on to also reveal that we are still picking and choosing on what scenes to use from Rangers and which shows deserve to take those elements to be used in their stories. This show had so many great stories of Luke and Lando that we are going to make sure that we continue the story in some way, shape, or form for the fans. We have great talent coming on board here at Lucasfilm to handle some of the scenes that will be taken from Rangers. We also had so many surprise cameos planned for Rangers that we were upset that we had to cancel those for the series, but good news once again is that we will be bringing in those cameos into other Star Wars shows to make everybody happy and feel at home with Star Wars again. That's our job. We want to pay tribute to those characters that so many fans grew up with. And that's exactly what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni did with the Book of Boba Fett to some level. I know that it was a big speed bump with the Book of Boba Fett, no doubt about that. But when you see what they did with introducing Luke Skywalker with the deep-faking technology and training Grogu and how he got to communicate with Ahsoka, he literally was able to combine both a Rebels/Clone Wars character such as Ahsoka talking to an original trilogy character, and it worked out perfectly. It just felt so natural, it felt so welcome to the fans, and it just made a lot of sense. So overall, guys, I would like to hear what you all have to say about all of this below in the comments, everything ranging from, of course, the overall Rangers show and how it got canceled, and Jon's statement on taking a lot of those big highlights of the series and throwing them into other projects. Let me know what you think about all of that below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.